Welcome guys, this is your friend Naruto Addict 3.0 and we are back with a new fanfic. Today's fanfic is titled, What if Naruto and Kurama created a dark empire with Sakura, Hinata and Ino? Part 2. It's only right to give your name when asking for someone else's name, said the girl. Well, I wasn't raised, right, so I'll ask again, who are you? Said Naruto. TCH, I'm sick of this kid, I should kill him now to get rid of future competition. Said the boy as he got something wrapped up in bandages from his back. Are you really going to use Crow for something like this? Said the girl. Then, a rock hit the boy's arm, causing him to comfort it and look up in the tree, revealing one Sasuke Uchiha. People causing trouble already. You don't want to go up against Naruto, he will kill you with no hesitation. He said. TCH, there's rats everywhere. Maybe I should. Stand down, Kankuro. You are a disgrace to our village, keep talking and I'll kill you. Said a boy in the same tree as Sasuke. Gaara, they were the ones who started it. No need to. Silence, now, was all Gaara said as he appeared on the ground, in front of Naruto. I was wondering when you were going to stop hiding behind me. Said Sasuke as he jumped down bedside Naruto on the right, Sakura on his left. Forgive my siblings, they are just for the exams coming up. Keep them in control and we won't have a problem. Said Naruto. The two had a stare down, now even blinking, for a while, until Gaara spoke. My name is Gaara of the Sand, these are my older sister and brother, Kankuro and Temari. Naruto then spoke up. My name is Naruto, and these are my two teammates Sasuke Uchiha and Sakura Haruno. I look forward to the battle we have in the Chunin exams, number 1. I also look forward to it, only your blood shall be shed, number 9. Said Gaara, him and his team walking away. I want to kill him. Said Naruto, making Sasuke and Sakura shiver. Naruto then looked back at a tree, that was held some poorly stealth ninja, and blasted it with ki, and walked away. In the tree, the 3 sound ninja that were hiding in the tree were now sweating bullets, trying to catch their breath. What was that? Said Dosu, the hunchback of the group. I don't know, but I think it came from the short blonde kid. Said Kin, the only female of the group. We should watch our back against those 2 teams. Said Zaku, the last boy on the team. Morning at the academy. Sasuke and Sakura saw Naruto approach them. It was 6 o'clock, on the dot. With a nod of his head, they all entered into the academy. There was no one in the academy, so they took to the stairs up to the 2nd floor. The pasted by the 2 hidden joinin, acting as genin, without a word. A team this early, and they noticed the genjutsu that fast. They're good, the man thought. The team passed through the double doors where the first exam would be, to see no one there. Everything was going according to plan. Sasuke posted up on the side of the wall, his arms crossed. Sakura sat down in a chair, crossing her arms and leaning her head on them. Naruto laid down on top of the table, not caring about anything else. 3 hours later, the teams started coming in and Team 7 was the first to see them all. There were some good-looking competition, but nothing the team couldn't handle. Naruto extended his senses in the room to get a feel of something he was sure of. There were 3 Jinchuriki in this room. I can sense it from Gaara and that green-haired girl over there. I will need to get in closer to tell which one she holds, but I'll deal with that later, thought Naruto. Then the doors busted wide open to reveal his brother and sister, Menma and Mito, along with their teammate, Sai. Hello losers. My name is Menma Uzumaki Namikaze, and I'm going to win the Chunin exam, believe it. Menma yelled. Mito then hit him on the back of his head, in fury. You idiot, you just made us a target to Eveon here. Yelled Mito even louder than Menma. The 2 got blasted with the combined ki of everyone in the room, making them shake, but all of a sudden, the ki disappeared. Ah, delicious killer intent, I so love the ability to absorb it and add it to my own power, thought a happy Naruto. Naruto watched as his brother, sister, and Sai joined the other Konoha idiots. He saw that even though they didn't want to, Sakura and Sasuke got brought into their conversation. So how is it being with the demon all the time, Sakura-san, Sasuke-san? Said Mito. Clenching his fist in how she referred to Naruto, he said, he is alright. He doesn't get in the way and doesn't ask a lot of questions, unlike some people, said Sasuke to Mito. Che, no need to be mean. I couldn't stand to be with him. Ka-chan told me that he would only hold us back if he was on our team. Just being around him gives me the creeps. Said Mito. You say that like he isn't your brother. Sakura said to Mito, but Menma jumped in. That thing isn't our brother, he is the Kyuubi only with no power. Look at his eyes, they are red, but when Naruto was born, they were blue. There's no way that he isn't the Kyuubi. Said Menma with Mito agreeing with everything her brother said about Naruto. You all should lower your voices, people will think you're getting with all that loud talking you're doing. Said a boy with silver hair and glass. Who are you? Said Menma. I am Yukashi Kabuto. This is my 7th time taking the exams. Said Kabuto with a smile. This is your 7th time, man you suck. Said Kiba with a laugh. Not that, it's just that the exam is very hard to pass. Said Kabuto. Being the good person I am, I'll let you all get an idea of your competition with these. Said Kabuto as he showed them cards. What are those, Kabuto-san? Asked Sakura. Ninja info cards, information on every participant of this exam. If you're interested in someone in this room. Said Kabuto. Rock Lee of Konoha, and Gaara of the Sand, from Sunagakur. Said Mito. While he was telling Mito and Menma of the people she asked for, Sasuke was having a conversation. Sakura, should we ask about Naruto? He said to Sakura. No, I don't see what help it would do. We know Naruto better than anyone, so we know Kabuto can't have any information on him that we don't know about. She explained. I know, it's just, he then looked at Naruto who was sitting on the other side of the room. If we get far in the exams, there is a strong chance that we will have to fight him. He said. If I'm paired up to fight Naruto, I would just surrender. There's no point in fighting a battle you know you can't win. She said as she went back to talking to Ino. Naruto was almost put to sleep by the competition. There was no one here that interested him, other than his fellow Jinchuriki. Naruto. He heard from behind him. He turned his head to see Mito and Menma, his dear brother and sister, with smirks on their faces. Hey Naruto, how far do you think you're going to get in the exam, huh? After all, you haven't been trained by Ka-san or Tu-san all your life, have you? Yeah, you're probably as weak as those genin from that new sound village. He said with a laugh, not noticing Dosu running up to him. He ran up to Menma and Mito and tried to punch them both, only for them to dodge the last second. Ha, your noth, Menma then fell on the ground, with his sister, as they felt disoriented. You may want to watch your mouth, I don't care who you are, you won't disrespect the sound village. Said Dosu, and Zaku and Kin came up behind him. The Oto team will win the Chunin exams, no matter what. Said Zaku, enjoying the pained faces that Mito and Menma had on the faces. Then a cloud of smoke appeared in the front of the class, with it came dozens of Chunin, and one Ibiki. Calm down. No fighting or you will be dismissed from the exams. He yelled. Sorry, just got a little excited. Said Dosu, and him and his teammates went back to their seats, not before giving Naruto a look of curiosity. Naruto then looked at a still recovering Mito and Menma, and with a smirk he commented. If being trained by the Hokage and his wife gets you beat by random genin, then I don't want their training. He said and left the two on the floor. During the test, Ibiki had explained the test, and Naruto, being a natural trickster, already got what he was trying to say. He had to cheat to pass the test. He used his control over the wind to feel if anyone was moving their pencils, and noticed the person behind him by 2 seats writing with a fast pace. Naruto then smiled. First test cleared, he thought as he wrote what the shifts in the wind told him to. 10th question. Alright, the 10th question is now here. But before you all answer it, let me say this. Those who answer wrong will never be able to take the Chunin test again, said Ibiki. What? That's not fair. There are others who have taken the test before, yelled Kiba. Too bad, I'm the one administering the test this year. The only way to save yourself is to leave and take the test next year, said Ibiki. One after one, teams would start to leave. Sasuke and Sakura wouldn't dare raise their hands, or they would probably die from Naruto. After the teams stopped leaving, Ibiki then spoke up. Good. Those who are still here have passed the first test, he said, getting shouts of an explanation. The questions on the test are too hard for a genin to answer, so you had to cheat. But if you got caught, you would be sent out of the room. That's why I had Chunin around to see if you all were bold enough to cheat, he said. But then what was the point of the 10th question? Asked Tamari. It was to see if you all would take the risk and continue or to go home and take it next year. Only the brave and sneaky would have been able to pass the exam, he said. Then, a window broke open and a figure came through. 2 kunais were thrown into the ceiling to spread a banner that said, "The and single, Enko Mitarashi." Alright, Gakis, I'm your next exam protector. Enko Mitarashi, she yelled. She looked around the room and counted the teams. 52 teams. You're losing your touch, Ibiki-san, she said. He came from behind the banner to talk to Enko directly. We have a talented group this year, he says. That's alright. When I get through with them, I'll cut the numbers in half, she said as some people gulped in fear. Follow me to the next exam area, the Forest of Death. And she jumped out the window. Forest of Death entrance. Welcome to my playground, or the Forest of Death to you. This is where you all shall fight to the death to survive, she said, making people shake in fear. But first, everyone must sign these waivers stating that Konoha isn't responsible for any deaths during this and the other parts of the exam, she said as he started to hand out the forms. After everyone signed them, she continued. Here, you will have a scroll, either heaven or earth, and you need to get another one from another team, meaning you have to fight. You won't know which scroll other teams will start with, which means you will have to be lucky to find the one you need first, she said. What about food? Asked Choji. There are all types of animals for you to find in the forest, just make sure you kill them before they kill you, said Enko with a smile. And remember, the only rules are, there are none. Use any kind of strategy, sick plan, killing, anything to get to the tower in 5 days, she said, and then ushered the genin to their gates. Once the genin were stationed at their gates, Enko's voice could be heard from the intercom. Alrighty Gakis, the second exam start chase, now. And the gates flew open. Inside the forest, Team 7 were going through the forest with a fast pace at hand, wanting to get a scroll early. So who should hold the scroll? Asked Sasuke as he looked at the earth scroll in his hand. Give it to Sakura, said Naruto. What? No. You should have it, Naruto. You're the strongest of us all, so isn't it the smart choice for you to have it? She said. Yes, it is. But me and Sasuke have been doing the heavy lifting for a while, so you hold it, he said. Sasuke then threw the scroll to Sakura's shaking hands. Alright, if you want, she said as she put it in her ninja pouch. The team came to the ground when Naruto told them to. What's is it, Naruto? Asked Sakura. I need to take a pee, he said as he started to pull down his cargo shorts. Sasuke and Sakura turned around quicker than ever. Ew. Naruto. I don't want to see that, said Sakura with a shout. The team then felt a presence in the area, and some kunai was thrown at them, but were cut into little pieces, thanks to Naruto's wind jutsu. A masked mist ninja then charged at them, but before he could get into 10 feet of the team, his head rolled off his shoulders, and landed in front of Sakura. Ew. No, 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 she said as she covered her eyes, but was too late as the image was in her mind. I am finished, said a happy Naruto. He never killed someone while peeing before. Naruto, you knew that he was following us, didn't you? That's why you stopped to think that we dropped our guard, said Sasuke to Naruto. I'm glad Sasuke got what I was doing, Sakura only screamed. How useless, he said, making her feel bad about screaming like a fangirl again. The team were walking on the ground, when there was a major blast of wind towards them, forcing them to use their chakra to stay to the ground. What's going on? Yelled Sasuke, as he turned his Sharingan on. I don't know, yelled Sakura. The wind died down to reveal a Kusa ninja with long black hair, and crazy grin on her face. Let's play, shall we? She said. You too. Focus. This person is stronger than Zabuza, I can feel it. Stay on your guard, stated Naruto, causing the two to focus on their target. Oh, ordering the two around. I guess you're their leader, but aren't you the demon of Konoha? Said the Kusa ninja, trying to mess with Naruto's head. Yes, I am, and I'll kill you if you don't take me seriously. I show no mercy, especially when no other Konoha ninja are around to report me. Said a calm Naruto. Yes, but we shall see, after this. She yelled and blasted the team with ki, only for it to be absorbed by Naruto. Using your ki won't help you here. I can absorb ki and make it my own power. Said Naruto, surprising the Kusa female, and Sasuke and Sakura, never knowing about this power Naruto had. I see, interesting, said the Kusa ninja. Now have some back, yelled Naruto as he blasted some ki at the Kusa ninja, causing her to freeze up. What? How can a genin have such a strong ki even strong enough to make me scared, thought a disguised Orochimaru. While frozen, Sasuke ran up to the female, and casted some hand signs. Kaden. Phoenix flower technique, he yelled and sent large fireballs towards a now recovered Orochimaru. He jumped over the attack, only to meet Sakura, right in front of him. Doden. Earth Dragon Blast. Yelled and a dragon came from underneath Orochimaru, forcing him to substitute with a log in the forest area. Coming in contact with the ground, he tried to move, but noticed that he was stuck as the earth below him held him down. Doden. Earth Holding Technique. She said. Naruto came from behind Orochimaru, without him noticing, and clawed at his back, causing Orochimaru to scream. Shit, this isn't good. I didn't sense that boy at all. What kind of team is this? Thought a very surprised Orochimaru. Sasuke sent some kunai with explosive tags toward Orochimaru. Orochimaru switched again with a log, only to find himself in taijutsu with Sakura. She sent a uppercut, in which he leaned back from and kicked up at Sakura. She caught the kick, and bent all the way back, picking up Orochimaru, and slamming him down on the ground behind her. Orochimaru transformed his legs into a snake tail and got out of Sakura's strong grip, and ran towards Sasuke in a speed he couldn't react in time, and got punched in his midsection, causing him to fall back. Orochimaru was going to go for another, only if Naruto didn't jump on his back, wrapping his legs around Orochimaru's arms, and Naruto's arms around his neck. Sakura. Now, he yelled. Doden. Stone Spear. And a stone with a sharp point grew underneath Orochimaru, but he leaned back, only causing him to get scratched on his shoulder. The Naruto on Orochimaru's back started to glow, until it exploded. The real Naruto came from a bush far away from the blast zone. Exploding clone technique. I wished you would have got caught in the explosion, I wish to end this silly game of cat and mouse. Said Naruto, as Sasuke and Sakura jumped next to him. How good can a group of genin be? This is lasting too long, I'm starting to attract attention, but first. And Orochimaru started to do hand signs. Summoning jutsu. He yelled and summoned a very, very large snake. Let's see how long you last from my friend. Said Orochimaru. But then Orochimaru felt the air behind him change, so he jumped up to see his snake being cut up by an unseen force. When he landed on a tree branch, he saw his whole snake cut up. What? How did this happen? He yelled. He looked over to see a smirking Naruto. I told you, I show no mercy. He said. Orochimaru was speechless. Even he couldn't do something like that, and even do it that quick. My god, that boy is far stronger than me. He thought. So he pulled off his fake face and sat down on the branch he was on. Well, if I were to continue this battle, I would lose. So first, I congratulate you, you stood up against the snake Sannin, Orochimaru. He said as he looked down at their surprised faces. I came here for reason, to give the Uchiha my mark. He said while looking at Sasuke. What mark? Asked Sasuke. Well, my curse mark, of course. If you let me give it to you, you are a couple more steps at finding your brother, Sasuke. Said Orochimaru. Itachi. Said Sasuke with wide eyes. You said it would make the Uchiha stronger. Said Naruto. Yes, very strong. With it, he is guaranteed that he would make it to the finals of this exam. Said Orochimaru. Give it to him. Said Naruto. What? I don't want that from him. He yelled. Too bad, I told you that I would get you stronger, I didn't say how. Said Naruto as he turned and punched Sasuke in the stomach, making him gasp at the powerful punch. Sasuke fell to the ground in pain, and Sakura tried to heal him, only for Orochimaru to be faster as he extended his neck to Sasuke's and bit down, causing Sasuke to scream loudly. AAAAARRRRGGGHHH. He yelled and then fainted. I should take care of the nine-tails brat now, thought Orochimaru and did some hand signs that looked familiar. That's the five-pronged seal, thought Naruto. He took the chance and ran towards Orochimaru. No, Naruto, stop, yelled Kurama from his mind, but he didn't listen. He let Orochimaru lift his hoodie up and press his fingers on the seal. Five-pronged seal, yelled Orochimaru, as he closed up Naruto's seal on his stomach. No. NAAAARRRRUUUUUTOOOOO. Yelled Kurama. Her yelling started get quieter and quieter until Naruto couldn't hear or sense her presence at all. I'll be taking my leave now, said Orochimaru as he melted into the ground. Naruto, Sasuke's really hurt. She yelled to him. But Naruto wasn't listening, he wasn't listening to anything. He could feel his mind come back. He could feel that he had better control over his body. His chakra. His mind. I'm free, he whispered. He looked up to the sky with a smile that has never appeared on his face. Pure happiness. Few hours later, Naruto and Sakura moved from the area they were in, with Sasuke's unconscious body. They were currently in a hollow tree that covered them up and gave them shelter. Naruto was currently asleep, with the widest smile on his face that gave Sakura the creeps. It just didn't go with the usual cool and calm and scary Naruto. Naruto told Sakura that Orochimaru blocked off Kurama when he used his sealing jutsu, and he was finally free to do what he wanted. Hearing that made Sakura smile. Naruto has gone through so much with Kurama that it made her cringe when Naruto would tell her what she would do to his mind while he was asleep. The way Sakura believes, Naruto should be held the hero of the village and not Menma and Mito. Sakura was standing watch, but was really tired. She stayed up all night, watching Naruto and Sasuke's bodies. She really was jealous, she wanted to sleep too. She then threw a kunai in the bush, hearing something in them. What ran out wasn't what she expected. A squirrel, thought Sakura with a deadpan look. She then noticed something weird. Hey, she yelled and ran to the squirrel, and took the explosive note off it, saving its life. Who would do that to a little cute thing like you? She said as she rubbed the squirrel to her cheek, making the small mammal purr in delight. Then, the squirrel was taken out of her hands. She turned around to see Naruto cut its head off and start to peel the fur off. Naruto, don't do that, it was so cute, said a now sad Sakura. Naruto then held the now peeled squirrel in his palm and used his fire chakra to cook it instantly, and took a bit. Your yelling woke me up. I'm glad it did though, we have company, he said as he looked in the trees. Yeah, I noticed, she said. She got a kunai out and wrapped a explosive tag around it and threw it in the trees. When it exploded, 3 figures jumped down to dodge the blast. About time you all came out, said Sakura as she looked at the sound team in front of them. We are not here for you two, we want the Uchiha, said the middle one that was bent over. The Uchiha is asleep, come back some other time, said Naruto to the hunchback. We don't care, we're here to kill him, so move out the way, said Zaku, surprising the two. Why do you want to kill Sasuke-kun? Yelled Sakura. It's none of your business, so step aside, said the girl on the sound team, Kin. My teammate is my business, said Sakura in defense. It seems you don't want the easy way out of this, so we'll just take care of you now, said Dosu. Don't make me laugh, with me and Naruto, we can beat anyone in this forest, exclaimed Sakura. No, you will handle them on your own, said Naruto. What? Why? Yelled Sakura. Because, me and Sasuke have been doing most of the fighting during our missions, you just stood behind. This time it is you on your own. And if you fail, Naruto then pointed at Sasuke, I'll let them kill Sasuke, he said as he sat down by Sasuke, picking his nails. Please, Naruto, don't do this, she pleaded. Shouldn't have been talking shit, he said. Sakura huffed at him, and turned to her competition. If I play my cards right, I could beat them all. Just stay on your guard, don't get, thought Sakura. You're going to have this little girl fight us. What a joke, we should just. Zaku didn't get to finish because of Sakura, burying her fist into his stomach, making him be blown back into a tree. Kin, don't be dumb like Zaku, attack with caution, he said as he rushed at Sakura. He extended his arm at Sakura to punch her, but she dodged and hit him head-on with her fist. As he flew, Sakura felt dizzy. Kin came at her with Senbon in hand, and charged a now-down Sakura. What she didn't expect was for Sakura jump up and kick Kin in her legs, making her fall to the ground. Sakura then stomped on top of Kin, both legs on Kin's arms. You're done, Doden, earth holding technique, she said as earth came from the ground and wrapped around Kin's legs, arms, and midsection. You all think you're going to kill Sasuke-kun. Well, you're dead wrong, she yelled with a fire at her eyes. How did you disable my technique? Asked a recovering Dosu. I don't know what you did to hurt my ears, but I healed it quickly with my mystical palm technique, letting me heal wounds instantly. I'm your worst opponent, said Sakura. She had one down, 2 to go. Forget you. Decapitating airwaves, yelled Zaku as he pointed his blasters at Sakura, and sent a large wind blast towards Sakura. Doden. Earth Dome Technique, yelled Sakura as a dome of earth covered her, protecting her from the wind. This wind was nothing compared to Naruto's. Damn, we can't get to her, said Zaku. Yeah, but we should go help Kin out, said Dosu as he walked towards the still trapped Kin. About time. This hurts. I can't believe a fangirl is this strong, said Kin. But before Dosu could free Kin, hands came from under the ground, and pulled Dosu to the ground, his head the only thing showing. Sakura then came from the ground, coughing a little. I always hated that, she said to herself. What? How did you do that? Yelled Dosu and Zaku. You all lowered your guard when you couldn't see me, but that didn't mean I couldn't see you too, she said. Zaku was getting mad, this little girl was toying with them. It was embarrassing. I'll kill you now, yelled Zaku as he pointed his hands at Sakura. Oh no you don't, said Sakura as she put a kunai at Dosu's throat, and threw a kunai with an explosive tag next to Kin, ready to detonate. Attack me and your teammates die, understand? Now answer my question, why do you want to kill Sasuke-kun? Zaku was still deciding if he should tell or not, but Dosu beat him to it. We were told to kill the Uchiha for Orochimaru-sama, leader of Oto, he said. But why would he want to kill Sasuke-kun when he gave him that weird mark? He said that Sasuke would be a good follower for him, asked Sakura, surprising the three. He was already marked. What's going on here? The three had similar thoughts. It's because he wants to test the Uchiha, and you three were there to do that, said Naruto, as he jumped next to Sakura. Good job, you held your own well, he said. This made Sakura smile, she did feel strong. She handled 3 genin on her own, that gave her a ego boost. To test the Uchiha, that means we're just, said Kin. Target dummies. Naruto finished. When did Orochimaru-sama give Sasuke the curse mark? Asked Dosu. A few hours ago. We fought him and won, but I let Orochimaru give Sasuke the curse mark for my own reasons. Said Naruto. Well, now that we have our information, why don't you give me your scroll? We'll be on our merry way then. Said Sakura. Just then, a smoke cloud enveloped Sasuke as he got up, black markings all over his body. I feel so strong. Like I can do anything. Whispered Sasuke. TCH. And you were against getting the curse mark. Well, look at you now, praising it. Said Naruto. Naruto then walked over to Dosu and pulled him out the ground, and used his wind control to cut Kin free of her bounds. You want to use your new powers now? Use it on them, he said as he pointed at the now shaking genin. Naruto grabbed Sakura and Shunshin somewhere else but near to see the battle massacre. You all ready? Asked Sasuke, as he disappeared and attacked. The sound genin had no chance. Sasuke normal ninja skills, which were already high level, with the curse mark, it would be a one-sided battle. In a good 3 minutes, Kin was knocked out, Dosu was slammed into a tree, and now Sasuke had Zaku's hands behind him with his foot implanted in the middle of his back. You take pride in these arms, would be a shame if something broke them. Said Sasuke in a creep voice, as he put force in his foot, causing pain in Zaku's arm sockets. Then something wrapped around Sasuke's midsection. He looked back to see Sakura, crying in his back. Please stop. I don't see you like this. It reminds me of Naruto. Please, Sasuke-kun, stop this. Said Sakura. Sakura, Sasuke said as the curse mark receded back to its normal form. He let go of Zaku's arms, making Zaku fall to the ground, and returned Sakura's hug. Naruto jumped down to the ground, looking at the scene going on between his two teammates, and decided to end it. You told the Uchiha to stop because it reminded him of me, why do you act like that is a bad thing? He said with a smirk. You don't realize how much life is worth, Naruto. But that isn't your fault, but it seems no one can change how you think. Said Sakura. This made Naruto frown, no one can change how he thinks. No one is supposed to, not anymore. He got rid of Kurama, and he wasn't going to go back. Naruto walked up to the Oto Nin, checked their pockets and found a heaven scroll, the scroll they needed to pass the exam. We are done here, let's go. He said. But before they left, he scratched the Oto Nin on their skin and they all jumped away. Inside Genjutsu. Where are we? Said Dosu. I don't know, all I remember is getting destroyed by Sasuke. Said Zaku. Let's look around then, see if we can find anything. Said Kin. There's no need, said a voice. The tree looked back to see Naruto, his hands in his hoodie pockets, his body in a slouched position. You're that kid, said Dosu, tensing up, ready for a fight. Calm yourself, I am not here to fight, only to talk. Said a calm Naruto. Well then tell us where we are. Yelled Kin. We are inside my Genjutsu, Fox Illusion, Fox Den meeting. It allows me to make every one of you to come into the same dream, and to talk only, which is what I want to do with you three. Said Naruto. Talk about what? Asked Dosu. I want you three to join me. Said Naruto. Join you. The three said at the same time. Yes, join me. You saw how Orochimaru used you like he did. You're nothing to him, he said to the genin. No, that's not true. Orochimaru said that he would take care of us, never leave us alone. Said Zaku. What he said is lies. If it wasn't for Sakura, you all would have been dead, and Orochimaru knew that. He knew the power of that seal. It was more than enough to handle you. Said Naruto. You say join you where? Said Dosu. I am starting a new village in Nami no Kuna, the land of waves. There is where you will get stronger, and get revenge. You won't have to worry about how you will get a meal, or if you are going to die the next day. Because of my training I am going to make you strong as S-class ninja. What you see my teammate do to you is only a couple months, but years under me, and think of what power you would have. Naruto said as he walked around the team. How would you get to train us in Wave when you are a part of Konoha? Asked Dosu. I am leaving Konoha soon, and I will send you to Wave with my Haraishin. I already have someone over there. Have you ever heard of Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the mist? Asked Naruto. You recruited him also? Asked a surprised Zaku. Yes, and he and his daughter are there in Wave getting stronger, not worrying about people trying to kill them for a bounty. So what do you say? Stay with Orochimaru and in sometime soon you either die or he uses you for his experiments, or you join me and become stronger than you believe. Your choice, said Naruto. I'm in. Instantly said Kin. What? Kin, are you sure? Asked Zaku. Yes, I can feel that we can trust this boy, and he is right. Orochimaru casted us out, he doesn't need us. But that's the thing, he doesn't know about this, that we're going leave Oto, can tell all about the invasion and Orochimaru's plans. Said Kin. Invasion, said Naruto. Few hours later, Team 7 jumped down on the ground. In front of them is a pond. Naruto, what are we doing here? Asked Sakura. I need to take a bath. Said Naruto. What? We're so close to the tower though, take a bath there. Yelled Sakura. No, I do not know if the tower has a shower, so I will take my bath here. Said Naruto. He then took off his black hoodie and the red t-shirt he had underneath, showing his abs and a very well-defined six-pack. Oh, my God. Said a now drooling Sakura. Naruto, when did you get so strong? Said Sasuke. I would train in my cell for hours among hours. If I didn't finish my exercises, I would be punished. Kurama-chan said I need to be strong to be a demon. That and she wanted something to feel on when she had her fun. Said Naruto. It was then that the two saw the many scars that litter all around Naruto's body. Naruto, sadly thought Sakura. How much have you gone through? Did the Kyuubi mess you up that bad? Thought a sorrowful Sasuke. The two then saw Naruto start to move on to his cargo pants. Sakura turned around, not wanting to be unfaithful to Sasuke, and Sasuke turned around not wanting to be outshone in the downstairs area too. In the trees, the team weren't the only ones in the clearing. There was a team that held the Jinchuriki of the seven-tailed beetle, Fu. She came from Takigakure, a small ninja village. The people there hated Fu, she had no friends, no family, no one loved her, no one accepted her Biju, Chome. Chome took care of Fu during her childhood, and taught her some things as well. Chome and Fu were each other's best friends. Fu's teammates, on the other hand, didn't like Fu at all. What made it worst was that the two were beautiful girls that were also strong. The first girl, Aiko, was a lovely girl. She had stunning brown hair, and a round-shaped face, and bright blue eyes. She had an almost tan skin color, that went with her hair well. She wore a back shirt, that hugged her midsection very well, with a small open brown jacket that stopped right below her. She wore black leggings and blue sandals, making her look amazing. Amaya, the second girl, was just as pretty. She had long black, smooth hair, stop at her back. She had midnight black eyes, that went well with her hair. She wore a zipped-up black jacket and black pants, black sandals, completing her look. But for her love of black, she had the most purest color of white for her skin color. The team were looking down at Team 7, debating on what should be done. Maybe we should just leave, we have our scroll, should we stay around? Asked Fu, with almost similar thoughts as Sakura. Why would we do that? We should take this opportunity and get their Jinchuriki. I've heard that Konoha treats him worse than even you, Fu. Said Aiko. If we were to make that Jinchuriki switch to our side, we would be heroes. Said Amaya. That, and he does look really good. Said Aiko with a blush. Then they saw Naruto take off his hoodie and shirt, revealing his abs. Oh, my God, the three said, just like Sakura. Oh, okay. New plan. We make the Jinchuriki come with us to Takigakure, and then we make him ours. We can share him, said Aiko. Share him, said Fu. Not you, Fu. Me and Amaya. Who would want you? She said. While the two were discussing their plan, Fu was hurt. No one likes me. Instead of capturing him, I should take this opportunity and run. I could stay in the forest or something. But I really want to get away from these two. And what they're planning, it could succeed. After all, I have also heard of the things people have done to that Jinchuriki. It makes my suffering look like child's play. Maybe I should get to know him better and at least give each other someone to relate to, thought Fu. The girls continued to watch Naruto bath, with enjoyment in their eyes, but Fu was the only one who saw the scars, which made her cringe. Then, when Naruto was done, him and his two teammates left the area, to go to the tower. The Taki team following also. The tower. Inside the tower, the team read the scroll on the wall and figured out that they need to open the scrolls. When they did, their old teacher, Uruka Yumino, came out. Hey guys, he said with a smile. Uruka-sensei, said Sakura. Yeah, it's been a while. I see you three have gotten better as well. It's only noon on the second day and you're already finished the second exam, congratulations. He said. Naruto just looked while his old teacher talked. He never was close to Uruka. Uruka never did nothing to him, so he was neutral in Naruto's book. After they got done talking, Uruka instructed the three to a room for them to stay in until the fifth day. Cafeteria. Naruto got a plate of food and sat down. He wasn't with Sasuke and Sakura, the two said they wanted to sleep in a bed and shower before they ate, which was good with him. He could eat in peace. He then looked at the food he got and noticed that he got some deer meat, just like how he did in Wave. Tsunami. KK, no, Ka-chan, thought Naruto as he referred to Tsunami as she wanted him to in the letter that she gave him. He started to eat, but then two females came up to him, with a look in their eyes that Kurama used to have when she was feeling herself. There goes my peaceful supper, thought a now aggravated Naruto. When they sat down in front of him, he noticed their heads' bands signified that they came from Takigakure. Hello there, Mr. Jinchuriki, said Aiko, as she moved some hair out of her eyes to make herself look good. Why were you spying on me in the forest? Said Naruto, going straight to the points, surprising the two. You knew, said Amaya. Yes, I could sense you staring at me, which is why I wanted to know why would you do something like that? Questioned Naruto. Well, before we get to that, I want to introduce ourselves. I'm Aiko, and this is Amaya. We wish to make a deal with you. Which is, said Naruto as he started to eat his food. We want you to come to Takigakure with us. Said Amaya. Why would I do that? Said a bored Naruto. So you can get away from Konoha. We've heard what they done to you, it's not right. You must be so alone, not having anyone to talk to, spend time with. Said Aiko, then she put her hand on top of Naruto's. Why would you stay in a place that hates you? You're a ninja for a village. You help Konoha bring in money, and the way that thank you. Putting poison in your food. Said Amaya. How would you know about the life of a Jinchuriki? Asked Naruto. We have heard around that you're treated badly here, it's inhumane. Said Aiko. Then, the two walked on the side of the table that Naruto sat at, and sat down beside him. We could help you, and together, you can be loved in Takigakure, appreciated for what you do. Aiko said. And if you do. Amaya then slid closer to Naruto and put her mouth close to Naruto's ear. Me and Aiko can be your first friends. She whispered and put Naruto's earlobe in her mouth. The two were messing with Naruto, but Naruto was still focused on his food. Granted their seduction skills were superb, it wouldn't work on Naruto. Naruto then looked up to see the Jinchuriki that he sensed in the first exam was there, far off, looking at what was happening at Naruto's table. This was the best time to talk to her. You two come with me, he said as he got up from the table. Where are we going? Asked Aiko. You'll see, was all that Naruto said. The two did a girly squeal and latched onto Naruto's arms. They started to walk towards Fu, but Aiko and Amaya were too distracted at feeling on Naruto to notice where they were going. When Naruto stopped, the two noticed that they sat in front of Fu. Oh no, they both thought. Sit. Naruto said, which they did. Naruto then sat in front of Fu. What is your name? He said to Fu. I'm FF Fu, said Fu. Calm yourself, you're talking to someone you can relate to, why mess up a chance to talk to a fellow Jinchuriki? Said Naruto. After taking a breath, Fu spoke. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared to talk to you. I haven't talked to a Jinchuriki before. I must say I am very nervous. She said. It is nothing to worry about. Tell me about you. Naruto. Yes, my name is Fu, and I was born in Taki and then later made a Jinchuriki right after my birth. I grew up with many friends, Taki really is a. You can stop lying now. Said Naruto. What? I'm not lying. Said Fu. Yes you are. I can tell. My Biju gives me the power to tell if someone is having any kind of negative thoughts or is lying to me when they talk. Since you lied, I can assume that you have no friends and that you are discriminated in Taki, is this true? Asked Naruto. No, Naruto-kun, Taki really is. Be quiet. Naruto interrupted Aiko. Please continue, Fu. Taking another breath, Fu continued. Yes, I have. Everyone hates me, and I never had a friend there at Taki. Even these two, who failed in their efforts to seduce me. Said Naruto as he pointed to a shocked Aiko and Amaya. Yes, even they hate me. She said. Naruto-kun, we are friends with Fu. I said be quiet. If you don't, I will not take up your offer. He said. That shut them up. You still might join. Said a now happy Fu. Yes, but I must still think about such things. I shall see you later, Fu. He said as he got up from the table. He then walked over to Fu's side of the table and scratched her arm a little. The fox will return, he said as he walked off to his room. When Naruto left, Aiko and Amaya looked at Fu. I can't believe that happened. He just said that we failed in seduction. But at the village, we always have boys turning their heads at us. Said Aiko. I don't understand, this wasn't supposed to go how I wanted it to go. Said Amaya. Fu, on the other hand, was blushing mad. She thought that Naruto looked so cool, and when he scratched his arm and left. Of my god, she had this warm feeling when he did that, like when Chome gave her some of her yokai. Wait a second, thought Fu as she looked at the scratch on her arm. I must go, she said to her teammates as she left and went to her room to sleep. Genjutsu. Fu opened her eyes to see a small fire in front of her. She looked up and it seemed to be a cave she was in. Where am I? She said. In my genjutsu, said Naruto, as he appeared from the darkness. Naruto-kun. She whispered. Listen, I need you to tell you something. Said Naruto. Naruto then told her of his plan to make her go to Wave and to keep it a secret. He would send her over with the Oto group after the Chunin exams are over. He told her that he was faking when he said that he was faking when he said that he would think about going to Taki with them, it was just to make Aiko and Amaya think that he was wanting to leave with them. He said that when she would to get to Wave, that he would train her to become stronger than she would ever believe. After a while, Fu understood everything. So do you agree? Said Naruto. Yes, I'll go with you after the Chunin exams. But I do have a question. Would I be treated right I Wave? She said with worry. Yes. The people of Wave have all gone through things and I saved them, making them love me. The people that I'm sending over have also been treated wrong, so they would understand your predicament. You will be loved, said Naruto. Then I have no other objections. She said. Good. Continue the exams like nothing has ever happened between us, understood? He said, and she nodded. Good, I'll see you later then. He said. Then the genjutsu started to fade away. Naruto's room. Naruto woke up after talking to Fu. Fu told him that she got along with Chome, and that they had a good relationship, something Naruto couldn't understand. Naruto lifted up his shirt to see the seal was still in place, and then went to sleep. Too bad he didn't see the seal start to glow red a little, and start to fade some. Inside the tower, 3 days later. The second exam was now over. 8 teams passed the second exam, which was unheard of. The first team was the Suna team, hosting Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro. The second team was Naruto's team, hosting Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. The next team was the Taki team, hosting Aiko, Amaya, and Fu. The next team was Guy's team, hosting Neji, Tenten, and Rock Lee. The next team was Kabuto's team, hosting Kabuto, Yori Akako, and Masumi Tsurugi. The next team was Kurenai's team, hosting Kiba and Akamaru, Hinata, and Shino. The next team was Kushina's team, hosting Menma, Mito, and Sai. And the last team that arrived was Asuma's team, hosting Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji. Most of the teams came in the last day. The cloths and their skin all messed up was proof of their struggle. Naruto's team, however, was at 100% capacity and ready to fight. The three spent their time outside, getting some sun, sleeping, eating, and the process repeated itself. Everyone was now lined up in the arena of the tower, ready for the part of the exam. Then, in a yellow flash, Minato Namikaze showed up in front of the Genins, his cloak flapping behind him. Hello, Genin. I must congratulate you all for your efforts in passing the second round of the Chunin exams. The Chunin exams, though, is more than you think, he said. Then, Minato went into deep detail about the Chunin exams being a replacement for war, saying that villages sent their best genin to show off their skills in front of those who have offers and jobs for villages, surprising most of the genin. Before Minato could finish his speech, a jonin appeared in front of him. Hokage-sama, please let me take over from here. Cough, cough, said the jonin. All right then, good luck everyone, he said as he went up to his podium to watch the fights. All right, cough, cough. My name is Hayate, cough, cough, Gecko. We shall have a preliminaries. Cough, cough, because there are too many people here. Cough, cough, to continue. Cough, cough, so the matches will appear. Then an electronic board appeared on the wall behind Gecko. On this board, cough, cough, the names will be chosen at random. Cough, cough, so that means even your teammates cough, cough, are now your enemies. Does everyone cough, cough, understand? He asked. Everyone nodded, but was wondering if the jonin was dying of some unknown disease. Good. Then let cough, cough, the battles begin. May cough, cough, you please bring your attention cough, cough, to the board, said Gecko. Then names started to flash between each other till it finally stopped on two names. Will Sasuke Uchiha cough, cough, and Yori Akato stay here? Everyone else cough, cough, report to the stands. Everyone went up to the stands, but Sakura gave Sasuke a good luck hug, and ran up to the stands. Naruto and Sakura went up to where Kakashi was standing and stood there. Naruto jumped up and sat on top of the railings, not saying a word to Kakashi. Yo, good job making it this far, you two. I am very proud, said Kakashi with an eye smile. The two didn't even say anything back to Kakashi, causing him to huff in grief and look down at the floor. Let the match begin, yelled Gecko, as he jumped away from the fight. I'll finish you quick and easy, said Yori, as he adopted a taijutsu stance. Your will be your end, said Sasuke as he got into his clan's taijutsu stance, the interceptor fist. The two didn't move for a moment, but then Yori rushed at Sasuke, making him smile. To him, Yori was going at a slow pace. When he finally reached to Sasuke, he tried to grab Sasuke, only for Sasuke to disappear, surprising Yori. Sasuke then appeared behind Yori and kicked him in the back of his knees, causing him to fall to the ground. Sasuke then pinned Yori to the ground as he stomped on his back with an extreme force, causing Yori to scream out in pain. Sasuke then turned Yori's head and took off his glasses and turned on his Sharingan. Genjutsu. Sharingan, said Sasuke as he put Yori into a genjutsu, ending his match. Winner. Sasuke Uchiha, cough, cough, said Gecko. Sasuke then walked up to his side of the stance with the rest of his teammates. Kakashi looked at Sasuke and smiled. Great job, Sasuke. I've taught you well, he said. TCH, you haven't taught me anything. Sasuke said to Kakashi with a glare. What? Said a now surprised Kakashi. He couldn't continue as the board chose the match. Zaku and Shino, cough, cough, please come down to the floor. Said Gecko. The match is the same, only Zaku surrenders when he is cornered, saving his arms. It seems the boy has learned some common sense, thought Naruto and a disguised Orochimaru as they watch the two walk back up the stance. Will Masumi Tsurugi and Kankuro come down to the floor? Cough, cough. Same as canon. Will Sakura Haruno and Ino Yamanaka report to the floor? Cough, cough. Said Gecko. The two came down and faced each other, ready for battle. Begin, yelled Gecko as he jumped away. It's time, Sakura, to show Sasuke-kun that I'm stronger and better suit for him than you are. Said Ino. Sakura only looked at Ino and then put her headband on her forehead, where belongs. So you want to go serious? Fine, she said as she also moved her headband to her forehead. Even though Sakura looked calm on the outside, Sakura was having a debate on the inside. What should I do? I don't want to hurt Ino, but then I don't want to lose. She over there only focused on Sasuke-kun, that she isn't worried at what's hand. Oh, I don't know what to do, she thought. Kill the bitch, yelled inner Sakura. No, I can't do that, she's my friend, said Sakura. Girl, what over there is your friend? So yeah, she helped you with bullies and shit when you were a kid, but who the cares? That hoe over there is trying to take Sasuke-kun from us. Nobody does that to us, now do they? Yelled the inner Sakura. Sakura then got a fire in her eyes. Inner Sakura convinced her that Ino was just another enemy. Nobody touches Sasuke-kun other than MMMMMMMMEEEE, thought a now crazy Sakura. That's right, bitch. Now go over there, whoop that hose, and take Sasuke-kun as yours, yelled inner Sakura. Here I come, Ino, said Sakura as she ran up to Ino. Ino wasn't ready when Sakura ran up to her and punched her midsection, causing her eyes to widen in pain. Ino couldn't fly away from the force of the blow because Sakura grabbed Ino's arm. She then bent all the way over and slammed Ino into the ground, similar like how she did Orochimaru in the forest. Ino was in disbelief and pain. How did Sakura know how to fight so good? She at least thought that they would be even in strength, but she was wrong. Really wrong. The crowd watches Sakura put the hands on Ino, while Ino couldn't do anything about it but take her beating. Kakashi looked at the fight with wide eyes. What? How did she learn to fight like this? Said Kakashi. What do you mean, Kakashi-san? Aren't you the one who taught Sakura in her youthfulness? Asked Guy. No. All of this that's happening is the first time I've ever seen from her. She usually didn't fight when in mission, and the only time she did was when she fought the demon brothers, but those two weren't really strong and I thought she just got lucky. Said Kakashi. So what you're saying is that your student's strength is unknown to you? How unyouthful, said a sad Guy. Before Sakura was about to land another punch, something called out to her. Sakura, yelled Naruto with a mad face as he looked down on the fight. Yeah, said a now scared face as she looked at the face Naruto was making. Hurry this fight up. No one wants to see you beat up this weakling anymore. You're wasting my time with such a display. End it, he demanded. Ino got up from the ground and looked up to Naruto. Weakling, whispered Ino. Sorry, Ino, said Sakura as she punched Ino in the stomach again, only with so much force that Ino flew back into the wall and left an imprint on it. W winner. Sakura cough, Haruno. Said a surprised Gecko. Sakura jumped up to her team and got right next to Naruto, who was looking at Sakura with a mad face. I'm sorry, Naruto. I should have finished it earlier, but what she said about Sasuke-kun make me go into a fury. Said Sakura. Naruto just looked at Sakura, then turned his head to the floor. Don't do it again, was all he said. Will Tamari and cough, Tenten come down to the floor? Said Gecko. Team 7 wasn't paying attention, though. Kakashi wanted to talk to his team. Sakura, where did you learn how to fight like that? Said Kakashi. Not you, Apparently, you didn't have time to teach me. Right, Kakashi-sensei, said Sakura as she looked at him. Some people around heard them. What are you talking about? I taught you some things. He stated in defense. I already knew tree walking when you taught it to us, other than that, you have taught me nothing. Said Sakura as she looked down at the fight. Minato was looking at the scene with curiosity in his eyes. Kakashi hasn't been training his team. That doesn't sound like him, he thought. He then looked at Naruto and then glared. And why did she listen to him when he told her to hurry with their fight? She looked scared at him when he said that. And then to bow her head to him. What's going on here? As the fight continued, Temari won with a landslide, and Shikamaru won with him knocking Kin out when she got too close to the wall. Will Naruto and Kiba Inazuaka come down to the floor? Said Gecko. WWWOOOOOOOOHOOOO. We got the easy on Akamaru. This will be easy, yelled Kiba, as he jumped down to the floor. His trusted pup, Akamaru, barked in agreement and jumped next to Kiba. Naruto decided to take the stairs. No use wasting his chakra on something like the dog boy. Well, technically, foxes are a part of the dog family. But we're better, he thought as he got up from his seat from the rail and started to walk down to the floor. When Naruto passed Sasuke, he heard him say, "Don't kill him." No promises, said Naruto as he passed Sasuke. As he was still walking, he passed by his mother, brother, sister, and Sai. Of course, his sister and brother had to say something. Good luck with your beating, Naruto, said Menma. I won't be visiting you in the hospital, said Mito. Naruto ignored them and finally made it down to the floor. He looked up to see Gaara looking down at him with fear. This boy, he is dangerous, very dangerous, thought Gaara as he looked into Naruto's red eyes. It felt like Naruto was killing him only with just looking at him. Gaara was visibly shaking, causing his siblings to notice. Is Gaara scared of him? Temari and Kankuro had similar thoughts. Naruto stopped looking at Gaara and stared at his competition. May the match, cough, begin, yelled Gecko as he jumped away. This will be so easy. You might as well give up now. I remember that all you could do was dodge while we were in the academy. That's your only talent, but now that I'm faster, you stand no chance, yelled Kiba, trying to make Naruto mad. Naruto just stared at Kiba. He was nothing to him. Why was he even here? Oh yeah, his plans started with the Chunin exams, but they were so boring. Kiba saw that Naruto wasn't paying attention, so he said something to Naruto that sealed his fate. I'll beat you just like I heard about when you were younger. Then you'll recognize that you are weak, and will always be weak. Sakura and Sasuke slapped their foreheads when they heard this. Kiba was just 2, and now he was dead. Naruto's widened when he heard this. He had a couple memories go through his mind when he heard this. Naruto's eyes flashed a bright red, the anger in his eyes was clear. It almost scared Kiba. You have crossed the line now. I was just going to knock you out, but now I shall do worse, said Naruto. He then put his right hand inside the compartment that held his claw. He securely put it on his right hand and looked at Kiba. The attack I will use on you will give you a 50-50 chance on living. It all depends on the blood lost you will have, said a dead serious Naruto. Naruto then got into a running position, his right hand behind him. Like that will scare me, I'll finish this with on underscore. Naruto then appeared behind Kiba, his right arm now covered in blood. Kiba's jack opened up and so did his stomach. Blood flew everywhere from his stomach. A gash appeared from the bottom of Kiba's bottom left part of his stomach to his right shoulder. Kiba fell over, eyes rolled to the back of his head. Kiba, yelled Kurenai as she jumped down. Hinata and Shino followed down with their sensei. Blood was pouring from his wound, and poor Akamaru was barking in sadness that his partner was not responding to him. Someone please go get a medic, yelled Kurenai in desperation. Hinata started to cry as she looked at Kiba's down form. She looked up to Naruto, as he started to walk back up to the stands. Why would you do this? She yelled to him. Because who spoke out of his jurisdiction? Stated Naruto. In anger, Hinata ran up to Naruto, but was stopped by Sasuke and Sakura. Why are you helping him? Said Hinata. We're not, we're helping you not get killed. Said Sasuke. They are correct. Think when you attack me. I am not a weakling like Dog Boy. He said and started to walk up the stairs. When he passed his family, he looked to them to see their shocked faces. No one could have saw Naruto when he moved, which made him glad. He looked at Mito and said, will you not visit Kiba in the hospital, either? Because I, apparently don't need it. He said with a laugh as he continued to walk toward Kakashi. Kushina looked at Naruto with fear. She didn't even see Naruto move, and she was sure no one else did too. How did he do that? Thought Kushina. The Oto team and Fu, on the other hand, saw the skill Naruto had and was glad that they were on his side. Naruto sat back in the same spot he did earlier, and while he did, Kakashi was looking at him with the most widest eyes. NNN Naruto, said a very surprised Kakashi. What? Was all he said. What just happened? I won, he said. When Kiba was cleared off the floor, Naruto noticed that he still had some of his blood on his arm. He then saw Gaara, and purposely slung some of the blood on Gaara on the other side of the room. The blood landed on Gaara's face and his siblings started to back away from Gaara. He dies, slowly, painfully. I don't care that he is stronger than me, with Mother's help, I can win, was all Gaara thought. Will Hinata and Neji please come down to the floor? Cough, cough, said Gecko. Good luck, Hinata-chan, said Menma as he gave her a quick kiss on the cheek. With a giggle and quick, thank you, she jumped down to meet Neji on the floor. It's time to show you Neji that I am ready to save our clan from the bird seal cage. I show you by beating you in this match, yelled Hinata. Hump, like you will change a thing. Just because your fiancé is the fourth son, doesn't mean a thing. The branch family will always be like the way it is, and if someone were to change that, it most certainly won't be you. Yelled a angry Neji. In the stands, Sai turned next to Menma. Menma-kun, what are they talking about down there? He asked. As you may know, I am going to marry Hinata in the future, but it isn't just because of love. I shall marry her to have more of an influence in the Hyuga clan, and change their ways in treating the branch family. Neji, on the other hand, doesn't believe Hinata or I can do it. He believes that we are too weak to do such things, but Hinata will prove him wrong in this fight. Said Menma with a smile of belief. The girl shall lose, said Naruto, loud enough for everyone to hear. What? No, she won't. She will finally beat Neji and prove how strong she is to him and everyone who put her down. Said Menma. Naruto turned to Menma with a strange look. Who are you trying to convince? Me, or yourself, because you know how strong she is and it isn't enough. I can feel her chakra level and it won't be enough to win. That is just stating the facts, she will lose. Said Naruto with a monotone voice. Shut up, she'll win. Said Menma, as he grit his teeth toward Naruto. Hinata heard the conversation between the two brothers and smiled. Menma believed in her. Now she knew she wasn't going to lose. Let the match, cough, cough begin. Said Gecko as he jumped away. Same as canon. Menma watched as Neji whooped Hinata's up and down the arena. This wasn't supposed to happen, he said as he gripped the bars of the railing. Menma, thought Kushina and Mito as they watched the fury in his eyes. Hinata was cut up and bruised everywhere, but she still stood up to fight. Why do you still continue? You lost. Any more fighting will cause further injury. Asked Neji. Because I want to prove that I can do it. To let those who believe in me know that I can hold my own. She said, but then a glob of blood came out of her mouth from her past injuries. Well, apparently they can't depend on you. How pathetic. It sickens me to see you even try something when you knew you were going to fail. Your own little sister has a better chance than you would ever have. Yelled Neji, as he prepared to strike Hinata down. He ran up to her, with his palm extended. Now die, he yelled as he was about to strike. If it wasn't for the Jonin, Kakashi, Guy, Kuranai, and Asuma, stopping him. Before Hinata could fall out on the bloody floor, Menma caught her in his arms. Hinata-chan, stay awake, he yelled to her face. I'm sorry, I didn't, she could finish as she coughed again. Don't worry about it, you did great, he said as he started to tear up. Meanwhile, Team 7 was watching from the stands. Do you see that? Said Naruto. If we didn't train, we would have looked like that. These people are pathetic. Nothing here shows their strengths, only their feelings. That's why I tell you to always to focus during a battle, cause if you don't, this happens. Said Naruto, as Sasuke and Sakura nodded their heads. Kakashi looked upon the scene and saw how the two listened to Naruto, but nothing he said. Why did I turn out to be a bad sensei? These kids have gotten strong without me. They are right, I am too lazy and selfish to be a good sensei, he thought as looked at them. When everything calmed down again, the exam continued. Will Kabuto and Fu come down to the arena? Said Gecko. The two came down to field in their battle stances. Good luck, said Kabuto. Thanks, you too, she replied. Begin, yelled Gecko. Kabuto then rushed at Fu with a kunai at hand. He was about to stab Fu, but Fu grabbed his wrist and pulled forward, turned around, and threw Kabuto to the wall, causing a lot of pain. Poison gas, yelled Fu as a purple gas came from her mouth and surrounded Kabuto, as he fell from the imprint on the wall that he was forced into. She's good, thought Naruto as he watched the scene below. Groaned Kabuto as he started to suffer the effects of the gas. He walked out of it trembling, before falling to the ground. I surrender, he said to Gecko. Winner, cough, Fu, said Gecko. Yeah, said Fu as she screamed in delight. She acts like Sakura though, thought Naruto as he looked upon the scene with interest. Please, return to your side of the stands, Fu-san, said Gecko. Oh, yeah, right, she said as she scratched the back of her head and ran up to her team. Will Gaara of the Sand and Rock Lee come down to the floor? Cough, said Gecko. Same as Canon. Menma Uzumaki Namikaze and Amaya come down to the floor, said Gecko. Good luck, Menma ni, said Mito with a smile. You can do this, Menma-kun, said Kushina. Thanks, he said as he jumped down to meet Amaya. Let the match cough, begin, said Gecko as he jumped away. Kage Bushin, said Menma as he made 10 copies of himself and surrounded Amaya. Give up, you won't win, he said. I don't care if I am outnumbered, I will still fight, she said. She then pulled out a scroll and what came up surprised everyone. It was a sword, it looked basic, but the size made the differences in regular swords. That sword has to be at least 6 feet long. And it's wide, yelled Menma. Yup, and that's not the only thing, she said. She then swung the blade, and some parts of the sword started to separate from each other, held by a metal string in the middle. The sword went from 6 feet to 13 feet quickly. In one motion of her arm, the sword destroyed all the clones and almost hit Menma, if he hadn't dodged in the last second. The sword is the same as the one Habana Daiida had from Deadman Wonderland, please look up to understand more. My sword is a hybrid between a sword and a whip. Its name is Snake Scale. I have taken many of my opponents by surprise with this sword, so don't underestimate me, she said with a smile. Noted. I'll just have to do something different then, he said to her. Kage Bushin, he said as he made 5 copies. This again, I guess you haven't learned yet, she said as she readied her weapon. I'm doing this for a reason, he said as the clones rushed at her. She swung her sword, which came apart as a whip again and went towards Menma. Menma went under the attack as his clones held the sword down. Menma then started to form hand signs. Raiden, twitching limb, he yelled. He sent his lightning chakra to his hands, and ran towards Amaya. He then touched Amaya's arms, causing them to shock, making her scream. Menma then kicked her in her midsection, making her fall back. You brat, you'll pay, she then stopped as she noticed that she couldn't feel her arms at all. What did you do? She asked. I sent my chakra to your arms, muscles, and nerves. I made them so numb that you won't move them for a while. Surrender now. He said with a smile. Grr. I surrender. No point in fighting now. I depend on my sword too much. She said in defeat. It was a good match. Your sword really is unordinary. If I hadn't dodged at the last second, I would have died for sure. He said as he helped Amaya up and sealed her sword for her. Winner. Menma Uzumaki Namikaze. Said Gecko. Menma went back up to the stands to receive praises from his team. Will Dosu and Choji Akamaiki come down to the floor? Said Gecko. Same as canon. Winner. Dosu Kinyuda. Said Gecko as he watched Asuma and Shikamaru try to pry Choji out the wall her was stuck in. Will Mito Uzumaki Namikaze and Aiko come down to the floor? Mito and Aiko glared at each other as they readied themselves for the battle ahead. Begin! Yelled Gecko. Mito and Aiko rushed at each other in taijutsu. Mito threw a uppercut, only for Aiko to lean back and try to kick at Mito. Mito spun around the kick and was about to punch at Aiko, but she backed flipped and kicked Mito under chin, make her fall back. Weren't ready for that, were you? Said Aiko. I am not done yet. Yelled Mito as she ran back in pursuit. Aiko got two kunais and attacked. She went to slash at Mito, but she grabbed her arms and threw them upwards, exposing her midsection. Mito attached there, but Aiko dropped down underneath her kick, and tried to stab her beneath her thigh, but it felt like she was wrapped up in something. She looked down to see her arms and lower body. Chakra chains in effect, said Mito as she lowered herself. But how? Trailed Aiko, but she saw some chains come from Mito's back and went underneath the ground and came back up from behind her, constricting her body. I yield, she said. Winner. Mito Uzumaki Namikaze. Yelled Gecko. Good job, Mito-chan. Yelled Kushina to Mito when she made it back up to the stands. She was then smothered in Kushina's hug. K-ka-chan. Will all the winners of the preliminaries come down to the floor? Cough, cough, said Gecko. They all came down and he brought a box with a hole on the top. The box holds numbers that will match you up for the finals. Cough, cough, any question? Said Gecko. Yes, I wish to not participate for the finals. Said Sai. Why Sai? You worked this hard too, though. Said Menma. I know, but I feel as if I am the weakest here. That, and I didn't fight in the preliminaries, so it doesn't feel right. I am glad that I made it this far, I am ready to quit. Said Sai. Are you cough positive? Said Gecko. Yes. Said Sai as he moved up to the stands. Well then, cough, everyone else may choose. When everyone has a number, call then out in order. Said Gecko. As everyone got one, the matches were stated. 1, said Naruto. 2, said Gaara. 3, said Mito. 4, said Sasuke. 5, said Shikamaru. 6, said Tamari. 7, said Fu. 8, said Sakura. 9, said Kankuro. 10, said Shino. 11, said Neji. 12, said Menma. 13, said Dosu. Gecko wrote the matches on a black board and turned to the genin. The matches will proceed like this. Cough, round 1, Naruto vs. Gaara of the Sand. Cough, round 2, Mito Uzumaki Namikaze vs. Sasuke Uchiha. Cough, round 3, Shikamaru Naru vs. Tamari of the Sand. Cough, round 4, Fu vs. Sakura Haruno. Cough, round 5, Kankuro of the Sand vs. Shino Aburama. Cough, and round 6, Neji Hyuga vs. Menma Uzumaki Namikaze. Dosu Kinyuda will have a later fixed match. The Hokage will take it from here. Said Gecko as he jumped back as Minato stepped forward. Congratulations on making it this far. The finals of the Chunin exams will be held in 1 month from now. Said Minato. Why not have it now? Asked Tamari. Because your opponent has seen you moves. The month will give you time to train and learn new moves to get the advantage on your opponent. Now to explain how the finals will work. Said Minato. The first battles will be held during day 1, the start of the finals. The more you win to the finals, you will fight a battle for another day. Seeing how the chart is now, the finals will last for 4 days. So, go out and get stronger, and when you come back for the finals, represent your village well. That is all. I'll see you all in a month's time, said Minato as he went to Kushina. The teams started to disperse, but Naruto pulled Sasuke and Sakura to the side. What is it, Naruto? Is it about the training we'll be doing during the month? Said Sakura. No, it is the complete opposite of that, Naruto said as he looked at Sasuke and Sakura. What is that? Said Sasuke. We are no longer a team, stated Naruto. What? The two said. You heard me. You two are strong. I told you that we would prove Konoha wrong and we did. We passed expectations for this team. Now, I don't need you two anymore, said Naruto. Naruto, you don't mean that, right? Asked a now sad Sakura. I mean everything I say. This team is over. The future shall change in where we will split paths. I'm just doing it early. I have no use for you two anymore. Goodbye, he said as he started to walk away. Naruto, said Sasuke as he looked at Naruto's retreating form. Naruto, said Sasuke as he ran up to Naruto. By this time, he was turning the corner. Sasuke went around the corner and placed his hand on Naruto's shoulder. So you just say that you don't need us anymore, and walk away. After everything that we have been through as a team, whispered Sasuke as he looked down, his hair shadowing his eyes. Yes, train on your own, said Naruto as he started walking again. Naruto, yelled Sasuke again, making Naruto stop. I have the feeling deep down that you don't want to leave, because if you do, you'll be lonely again. So why are you leaving, for real? Give me an explanation now, yelled Sasuke. Naruto just turned his head over his shoulder to look at Sasuke. I told you to turn off those cursed eyes when you talk to me, said Naruto. Sasuke didn't even know that he activated his Sharingan. Goodbye, said Naruto, and he disappeared in a red flash. Uzumaki Namikaze Estast, Minato, Kushina, Menma, and Mito were all surrounded the dinner table, talking and laughing, celebrating the two genin getting to the finals. Good job, you two. I knew you could do it, said Kushina. Thanks, Ka-chan, said the two genin. Up next is the finals. Do you feel confident on your matches? Said Minato. I don't know about mine. Sasuke-san quickly went through his opponent during his battle. He didn't even have to try. I'm going to have to really train hard to beat him, said Mito with confidence in her voice. Well, I know I will beat Neji, and I'll make Hinata feel better while doing it. And I'll go all the way and beat everyone in my way, yelled Menma. As if, you can't even see that your pants zipper is down, said Mito. Everyone else laughed at Menma, causing him to be embarrassed. The family kept talking and partying. It was a happy time in the household of the Uzu Namikaze family. Nothing could ruin the moment. Yeah, right, Naruto's cell. Naruto was sitting down on his bed, looking at the chains that held him to the walls of his cell. His eyes flashed red as he looked down at them with a smile. It's time, said Naruto. He then started to gather his yokai in his palms. Anti-seal corrosion, said Naruto. The seals on the chains started to glow red and then started to gain rust, as if they were the oldest seal ever. The seals started to get weaker and weaker, until the chains broke off of Naruto's wrist. Naruto stood up and gathered his supplies and walked to the door of his cell. He opened the door and started to climb the stairs back up above ground. Naruto climbed the stairs some more until he reached what looked like the back of a vault-like door that you would find in banks to hold tons of money. Naruto put his hand to the door and channeled his yokai to the door. Anti-seal corrosion, he said again. His yokai started to eat away at the seals until they were all gone. The vault door then came open. How fun this shall get, he said as he headed towards the exit, free from the seals that hindered him. Dining room. The family heard a big thud from somewhere in the house. What's going on? Said Menma as he looked around. You know, you two aren't the only ones who made it to the finals. I should be celebrating too, right? Said Naruto with a smile on his face as he turned the corner from the hallway to the dining room. Naruto, how did you leave your room? Said Minato, as he used the word room instead of cell, because of Menma and Mito were present. Simple. I busted out of there. Your seals were too weak for me to hold. Said Naruto. He then grabbed a plate of food and sat down at the dining table. So this is how it feels to sit at a dining table. I don't like it, but I think it's you guys messing up my first time at a table. Said Naruto. He started to eat his food. How? Those seal are unbreakable. How did you do it? Yelled Kushina, as she stood up from the table. Naruto just looked at her for a second and said, "This food is good. I must commend you for your skill in the kitchen, Kushina." Said Naruto, ignoring her question. "Stop changing the question and answer me," yelled Kushina as she slammed her hands into the table. "I ate the seals away with my yokai, simple as that," he said as he continued eating. "You destroyed a seal with the same thing it's supposed to suppress. How does? I don't time to play 20 question. I shall tell you what's going to happen during the finals," said Naruto, grabbing everyone's attention. Naruto cleared his throat and looked at Menma and Mito. "If you two face me in the finals, I shall kill you," he said. "What? Everyone at the table, you can't do that, they're your siblings," yelled Kushina. "Did you really just say that? When have those two ever treat me like their older brother? When have you or Minato ever treat me like a son?" said a calm Naruto. When she heard this she continued. "Because you're a demon," she said. "You held both the Kyuubi's soul and chakra when you were a Jinchuriki, does that make you a demon as well?" he said to her. That made her shut up. "But you are right about one thing, I am a demon." "Well, half," said Naruto. "What do you mean?" said Minato. "The day I killed that mob of people who wanted to kill me." At this, everyone at the table flinched. The Kyuubi turned me into a half-demon, letting me handle its yokai and kill them. Said Naruto. "But why say that you will kill us in the finals?" said Mito. With this, Naruto gained an insane grin. "Well, because of revenge, of course," he said. "Revenge?" said Menma. "Yes, revenge. All the suffering I went through as a child, and even now, it has made me strong. All the beatings, torture, stabs, glares, and the discrimination I had to deal with. It was all because of you," said Naruto as he pointed his finger at Minato. "I was never born a demon, you made me one. Because of you, I had to deal with the villagers' hate, and then I was casted away where I didn't see the light of day for 2 years. And then when the Kyuubi would mentally torture me," said Naruto. "What?" said Minato as he looked upon Naruto with surprise. "Yes, I haven't gotten this strong by myself. The Kyuubi tricked me into opening the seal one day, and she gained control of my mind. She could do whatever she wanted to me, and I couldn't do anything about it. Do you know how it feels to not even control your own body? To not have any control over your own thoughts? Your mind. The Kyuubi would train me day in and day out in my mindscape, and if I didn't do right, Naruto's insane grin just got larger, the torture would begin. The room started to get filled with ki, freezing the family as they saw a red hue start to surround Naruto. Inside my mind, I would be tied down to a table, and the Kyuubi would have a sick joy into finding what she found so attractive to me, why she liked me so much. Was it my attitude, my outlook on life, my hatred for my own family?" said Naruto. The chakra around Naruto started to form into a fox, smiling down at the family, making them even more scared. "She would do whatever she wanted to me, and no matter how loud I screamed, no one would hear me. Because you locked me in a cell, for a reason I had no choice to choose in order to live," yelled Naruto. He then looked straight at Kushina, knowing this was going to hit her the hardest. "And let's not even get started on the rape," Naruto whispered, but everyone heard. "RR rape," said Kushina, as she looked upon Naruto. "Yes, rape. Kurama-chan was so obsessed with me, that she would even rape a little boy. The first time it happened was when I was 9, and then I only got worse. Days, I wouldn't be able to wake up, because of the things that she would be doing to me. How she would rape me until I almost lost my mind by the pain I would be going through, but she would only heal me, saying that her mate didn't need to be a vegetable. For years this went on, but you all don't care. You just make fun of me, hate me, alienated me. Don't you think you all deserve punishment? Naruto, whimpered Kushina. She was now crying her eyes out, realizing what she had done. When I got on a team of genin, I then find out that my sensei, my own sensei, was one of those who hurt me. He put a lightning blade through my shoulder. But I don't go to a hospital. No, I sleep of my injury behind a dumpster, while you all sleep in your nice cozy rooms, thinking of such a good day that you all had as a family. He said as Naruto then started to cry, but his insane look was still on his face. What was so different about me than my siblings, tell me? He yelled to Minato and Kushina. Naruto, I didn't know that you went through that. I realize my mistake, but please, don't take it out on Menma and Mito. Said Minato with a sorrowful look in his eyes. No, they shall die if they fight me. Mito may be lucky, and just lose to the Uchiha, but he'll destroy her, but I can kill her later. But you, he said as he pointed as Menma. You have the biggest chance to make it to the finals, and you will fight me, and you will die. And you know what's the best thing? You know I can. You saw what I did to Kiba. None of you even saw me move. I'll have no guilt in tearing you to pieces. Yelled Naruto, as Menma looked at Naruto with the most afraid face upon him. Naruto, he said, in the forest of death, you wouldn't believe who I met in there. Orochimaru, the snake Sannin, of all people. He said. What? Said Minato. Yes, I faced him. And I had him running for the hills. If I can defeat a cage-level ninja, then I can for sure defeat a minor genin. Yelled Naruto. Naruto then calmed down, the ki retracting back into his body. Simply, I can to tell you this. You messed up when you abandoned me. I have no morals, killing doesn't affect me negatively, causing pain brings me glee. But I could have turned out differently. I could have been the proud child of the Yellow Flash and the Red Death, but I only became the demon of Konoha, the plaything of the villagers, ninja and civilian alike. But now, I step out from hiding my power, and I shall destroy. He said. Naruto then rose from the table and started to walk towards the exit. Please don't go Naruto ni. Yelled Mito. I know I haven't been the best sister, and I know I hurt you so much, but let me make it up to you. Something. Anything. Please. She said as she put her hand on his shoulder, only for some red chakra in the form of a fist punch her dead in her stomach, causing a glob of blood to come out of her mouth, but she stood still. Naruto-chan, please. Ka-chan is sorry. I shouldn't have treated you like that. After all, I held the same thing for longer, but I wasn't treated like a demon. Please give us another chance. We can change the villagers' minds about you together. Said Kushina with a sad smile, not even worrying about the gasping Mito. I do not forgive, nor show mercy. He said as he walked towards the door. He then stopped in front of the door and turned towards Minato. Here is a fun fact, Minato. Did you know that you failed in your attempts to seal the Kyuubi's chakra into Menma and Mito? He said. What do you mean? Said Minato. You thought you sealed 50% of the Kyuubi's chakra into Mito and Menma, but you actually sealed 50% of the chakra of the Kyuubi and you sealed the soul of it in me as well. Menma and Mito only have 25% of the Kyuubi chakra in them. But those two are praised for holding the chakra, while I'm hated for hold the soul. TCH, what a joke. He said. Naruto was about to grab the door handle, but smiled as he got an idea in his head as he turned to the trembling family. See you at the finals, a slaughtering will occur there. He said. He then vanished. In a red flash. Konoha's forest. Naruto was outside in the forest, walking towards an old mansion, going to get another ally in his plan. Apparently, this girl Genjutsu can actually become real and make injuries. But she also hates Konoha. Just my type, he said. Naruto kept walking until he felt something weird. Naruto then feel out. Mindscape. Naruto watched in horror as the seal that Orochimaru put on him broke down, and the wall that was blocking the cage that held the Kyuubi fell down. Kurama, in all her glory, stepped out the rumble, ran up to Naruto, and hugged him. Naruto, oh how much I missed you. She yelled as she held him tighter. No, it wasn't supposed. I promise that we'll never be separated again. She said with a soft voice. No, no, no. Naruto then pushed Kurama off of him as he looked at her in anger. I got rid of you. I controlled my own body for the first time in years. I could go to sleep, without worry what would happen if I came in here. And then you come back to haunt me. Not anymore, he yelled. Mass Cage Bushin, yelled Naruto. Then, thousands of Narutos appeared in the mindscape. Then the clones started to pair together making little balls of chakra in their hands, but then made large balls of chakra with a shuriken surrounding it. Ultimate Rasen Shuriken Barrage, yelled Naruto as he threw thousands of super yokai powered up shurikens of death toward Kurama. You've become strong, Naruto, she said as a red chakra surrounded her. But I'm still stronger. The attacks hit the Kyuubi dead on. Explosions everywhere, destroying everything in sight. The explosions lasted for 20 minutes, and Naruto saw the damage. His mindscape was destroyed, and he was just floating in nowhere. Then, everything popped back up, the forest, mansion, lake, the sky, everything. Chains came from the ground and tied Naruto up. He looked up to see Kurama. She had lost her right arm, and 3 tails. She was cut up everywhere, no part of her skin was marked with her blood or dirt. Then, something happened that scared Naruto shitless. She started to heal. A red chakra took over her form, and the arms started to regrow, her tails were healed and grown, flesh was clean like it was never marked, and that evil smirk came back as she looked at Naruto. You know, being locked up in that seal again made me come up with an idea. It shall succeeded, and when it does. She kissed Naruto on the lips and then looked at him, eye to eye. You'll finally be mine, she yelled as she bit Naruto on his shoulder. ARRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRRR dreams, Naruto-kun, said Kurama as she activated the Genjutsu. Genjutsu realm. Naruto was powerless. He couldn't do anything as he was tortured by the same villagers and his family for 3 days. On the third day, Kurama came and killed them all. This happened over and over, the part where Kurama saved him, and each time she was done, she would look back and say, "All you need is your Kurama-chan." Over and over it was replied. All the things she did for him. All the things she taught him. How for him to be him. He would finally listen. Mindscape. Kurama was laying in bed with Naruto's unconscious body, as she heard the whimpers that came from his mouth. Then it stopped. Naruto opened his eyes and looked at Kurama. "Naruto," she said as he looked at her. "I love you," he said, and that made her smile. "I sorry for not listening all that time, not doing what you were saying, telling me to do, not loving you equally, but now I realize that you are the only person I care about. I love you even more than I love myself. You are the only person I need, Kurama-chan," he said with tears in his eyes. "Oh, Naruto, you don't know how long I wanted to hear that. I love you too, and together, nobody will stop us," she said with a smile as she hugged him, which he returned. "Kurama-chan, thank you," he said. Kurama just smiled that evil smile that started it all. "Finally, I have broken Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. And he's all mine," she thought. Uchiha clan head house training grounds. Sasuke was in the middle of the field, gaining better control of his chakra. He knew that Mito was going to be a tough challenge, but he was pretty sure that he would win. He still wanted to be ready for any situation that he may encounter. He knew Mito had her chakra chains, and a very high supply of chakra supply, much higher than his. But he knew that he would use his chakra supply wiser than she would. It was one of the things that Naruto taught him. Just thinking of Naruto made his heart hurt in a pain of guilt. Sasuke was one of those who didn't like Naruto when he was at the academy. Granted, he never did any of the things that the villagers did to him, but he would put Naruto down anytime he could, saying that he was a Uchiha and was way more important than the village demon. Sasuke wished he could kick his past self in the. Everything that he did before he started training under Naruto made him seem childlike and arrogant. He hated the fact that he thought that the Sharingan and his last name made him better than anyone. Just think about back then made his head hurt. Sasuke then looked at a certain spot of the training grounds to see Kakashi appear before him. Sasuke, was what he said. Kakashi, was Sasuke's reply. The two seemed to be having a staring contest, because for 5 minutes, they just looked at each other, not saying a word. Sasuke then cut the silence. What do you want? I do not have time to spend with you playing around. If you aren't here for something serious, leave. Said Sasuke. I want you to give me a second chance at being a sensei, your teacher that you deserve. Said Kakashi. Why is that? You apparently decided that reading that perverted book that you haul around with you was more important than your student. Said Sasuke as he returned to getting a better chakra control. Listen, I know that I messed up. I haven't been the sensei that you, Sakura, or even Naruto, deserve. You deserve better than me, but I'm here now to get my priorities straight and help my students become what they want to be in their life. Said Kakashi. What about Sakura? Asked Sasuke. Already talked to her, she said she wanted nothing to do with me, and that she could train on her own time. I still told her that she could come train with me for the month out of Konoha, all she had to do was meet me at the east gate of Konoha at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Since she denied it, I wanted to ask you the same question. Said Sasuke as he thought about the proposition. He would get training from the copy ninja, and his jutsu library could expand a lot if he trained under him for the month. Plus, it was better than training alone. What would Naruto think about it though? Thought Sasuke, but then thought about what Naruto said. We are no longer a team anymore, my use for you two is over. Was what Naruto said. We aren't a team anymore, so I can make my own decision in getting stronger, thought a now confident Uchiha. He turned to Kakashi, which surprised him, and looked him straight in the eyes. Do you promise to train me seriously, because if you don't, I'm leaving you to come back here and train myself. Said Sasuke. I promise, you don't have to hid any of your skills to me, because I won't tell anyone about them until they know by seeing them themselves. Said Kakashi. You will see me at the east gates at 7 a.m. and that time only. I won't wait around, so don't be late like your usual self. Said Sasuke. I promise that as well. Said Kakashi. Sasuke turned around to his house, and started walking toward it. I'll see you there, Kakashi-sensei. Said Sasuke, making Kakashi smile. At least I can gain Sasuke's trust back. I must make sure that all my students are well taken care of, but the only one who wants help is Sasuke. This next month shall be interesting, thought Kakashi as he disappeared in a cloud of smoke. East Gate Konoha, 7 a.m. Sasuke looked up to see Kakashi appear, with a backpack behind him, ready to go. Ready? Asked Kakashi. Yes, replied Sasuke. The two started to cross the gates, but a voice stopped them. Wait, said Sakura. The two turned around to see Sakura, running up to them, her pink hair fluttering in the wind. Sakura, what are you doing here? Asked Sasuke. I came to see you off. She stated as she stopped right in front of Sasuke. So you're not coming, trailed Kakashi. No, I want to become stronger on my own. I want to prove to myself that I can hold my own on the battlefield. She said to Kakashi. She then looked at Sasuke directly to his eye. I'm going to miss you. She said. Me too. Take care while I'm gone. He replied, and then held out his hand. She looked at his hand, and extended hers towards it, and grasped it. The two looked at each other with determination in their eyes. Sakura then, using her strength, pulled Sasuke to her in a hug, surprise and hurting him. Be careful, she whispered in his ear. She then put her lips to his cheek, making the two blush, and then pulled back. I'll be different when you come back, she said as she turned around back to the village, and ran back into the growing crowds. Sasuke touched his cheek, not believe that she just did that. Kakashi, trying to be funny, nudged Sasuke in his ribs. Sakura, huh, good pick, he said. I'm thinking about staying in the village, said Sasuke, causing Kakashi to shut his mouth. That's what I thought, now let's go, he said as the two turned to the forest, walking away from the village they won't see for a few weeks. Haruno residence. Sakura looked at herself in the mirror, thinking about what she was about to do. No, I must not hold back anymore. I have people I want to protect, people to prove myself to. She then thought about Naruto, people I want to save. Sakura then grabbed the scissors that sat on the sink counter and cut her hair, making it short, hardly passing her shoulders. This is proof of my dedication, I won't back down from the finals, thought Sakura. Hell yeah, girl, we're going to take over and make everyone our bitch, yelled inner Sakura, making Sakura sweat drop. Uzumaki Namikaze Mansion. Concentrate, Menma. Forcing the feeling will only cause you troubles. Let them flow out you, said Kushina to a struggling Menma. They were trying to get him to bring out his chakra chains ability that he received from his mother, and so far, he hasn't gotten far. Damn it, this is too hard, yelled Menma, only for Kushina to hit him on the head hard. Language. You know I do not allow cursing in this house, yelled Kushina to Menma. Anyway, the way you're trying to call out your chains isn't working. You need to be calm and just draw them out naturally, stated Kushina. I know, it just that ever since Naruto said he was going to kill me, I couldn't calm down ever since. I haven't been getting any sleep, because the nightmares keep me up. The stress is building up on me, Ka-chan, said a sad Menma. Kushina just hugged her son, knowing his pain and was worried for him. Don't worry, Menma, I will make sure that Naruto doesn't kill you, cause I'll jump in the arena and fight him myself, said Kushina, surprising Menma. But isn't that against the rules? Asked Menma. Maybe, but I won't just sit there and just watch my son get killed by his sibling. The same goes for Mito. I would take any punishment to make sure that you live, she said, smiling down at Menma. Thank you, Ka-chan, said Menma. Menma, look at what you're doing, yelled Kushina in delight. Menma turned his head to see a small golden chain coming from his back. I'm doing it, he yelled in glee. Good, that's the first step. With my training, I'll make sure that you'll have a chance at Naruto, she said to him. Yes ma'am, he answered back, the two not knowing that it would be the exact opposite of what they expected. Later that day, Sakura was walking back to her house, getting done with a successful day of training. She could feel that she was improving every day, readying herself for the finals. She was walking down the street, only to see a square rock with eye holes following her. Konohamaru, Udon, Moegi, stop following me, said Sakura with a smirk. The three revealed themselves with a flashy show of smoke. Boss Lady Sakura, your skills in detection are unmatched, the three screamed out. Yeah, thanks, she said with a sweat drop. It wasn't that hard to notice that their camouflage was terrible. Sakura walked with the three academy kids, until they ran into a group of Hyuga, surrounding a certain one in the middle of them. Ooh hhhhhh. There she is, yelled Konohamaru with hearts in his eyes. Who? Asked Sakura. Hanabi Hyuga, the most perfect, beautiful girl in the world, said Konohamaru. He then ran up to the guards that protected her. Hanabi-chan, said Konohamaru, trying to squeeze his way to her. Stand back, boy, said one of the guards. No, it is okay. Let him through, said Hanabi, as she smiled when she saw Konohamaru. Hello, Konohamaru-san. How are you today? Asked the Hyuga. Oh me, I'm fine, but what about you? I know that you are always training, you must be tired, he said back to her. Sakura, Udon, and Moegi just stared at the scene, not believing in what they were seeing. Has this happened before? Asked Sakura to the two kids. Not while I was around, said Udon. I don't see what he likes about her, said Moegi with a huff. She's mean to everyone else, but when she sees him, she goes all, Ms. Perfect Little Hyuga. I'm glad I saw you today, Konohamaru-kun, but I must leave to attend important clan business, you understand, do you? Said Hanabi with a smile. Oh yeah, sure I do, since I come from clan myself. So go take care of your business, maybe we can hang out sometime soon. Asked Konohamaru. Deal, she said. They hugged for a good 10 seconds, before splitting apart, waving to each other while going their separate ways. Why do you guys look like that? Asked Konohamaru as he returned. How do you know Hanabi-san so well? Asked Udon. Me and Hanabi-chan grew up together, and she really is nice, she just doesn't trust a lot of people. Said Konohamaru. He then gained a sad face as he continued talking. She really has been going through a tough time now, since her sister is still in the hospital after what happened during the Chunin exams. I can at least cheer her up when she's with me. He said to the group. That's right, Hinata is still in the hospital. I should go see her, thought Sakura. Hey you three, I must go, but you better not cause too much trouble, or I'll handle you myself. Understood, she said to the three kids as she went towards the hospital. Konoha Hospital. Hinata, are you awake? Asked Sakura as she walked into the room. It was a fairly nice room. TV set, a nice looking couch, and the bed Hinata was on looked like it was made from clouds. Sakura-san, it's good to see you, she said with a smile. Sakura set down some flowers in a nice looking vase, Hinata giving her a thank you in return for the gift. How has your stay been for you? Asked Sakura as she sat on the couch. It's been well. I've been received visits from some of the other Rookie 12, it's made the stay here bearable. She stated. So you're alright, nothing too serious? Asked Sakura. Yes, I am fine. Though, some of the little pride I had has been taken away from me. Said Hinata, as she started to grip the sheets. I never stood a chance, Naruto was right. Said Hinata, remembering the words that Naruto said out loud. Hinata, don't bother yourself with that, it's in the past. Said Sakura, as she put her hands behind her head in a relaxed position. You can just train harder to get to a point to where you feel satisfied with yourself, it's simple. Said Sakura, as she closed her eyes, enjoying the softness of the couch. Hinata just looked at her with a glare. How could you say something like that so easily? She whispered, but Sakura picked it up. All you have to do is be dedicated and you'll get what you want. She said lazily, her training routines finally getting to her. I was dedicated. I trained hard with father, and I thought without a doubt in my mind that I would win. When I got down to the arena, I felt confident, but now, I totally afraid of Neji. She yelled. Hinata, calm down, said Sakura, now standing up. Don't tell me that. I can be mad if I want. You wouldn't know how it feels to be in a position like this. Mai is going against my fiancé. You don't care about what going on with me, only yourself on how you got to the finals, not caring if I'm hurt. What might happen to Menma-kun? She yelled. After a little bit, Hinata gained her breath from the yelling that she just did. Sakura just started at her while Hinata looked at her with a stern glare. It seems my presence is no longer wanted here, said Sakura. It never was, answered Hinata. Sakura walked towards the door and opened it. She looked up with a blank look in her eyes, and turned to Hinata. It sounds like you don't have any faith in the person you love, said Sakura. If he is going up against Neji, and the way his is, I don't believe Menma-kun will win, said Hinata. Sakura just smiled and continued to speak. You know, he had faith in you when you went up against Neji, even if you lost, he was there to help you. You just sound so ungrateful, said Sakura. My opinion is my own, and it still stands, Hinata said. Then maybe you should tell your opinion to Menma yourself, said Sakura. Sakura left the room, but left the door open. Someone else walked in, with a vase of roses, and sad look on their face. When Hinata saw the person in the doorway, she gasped. Menma-kun, she whispered. Thanks for not believing in me. I really need to hear that. He said. He got the vase with the flowers in them and threw them in the trash. So much for love, he stated as he walked back out to the hallway, vanishing from her sight. Menma-kun, I'm sorry. Please listen, she yelled, but couldn't get up from the bed because of the IVs she was attached to. Sakura just watched the scene happen in front of her, and keep walking. I won't be like Hinata. I believe in Sasuke and Naruto, no matter what. And I believe in myself more than she ever would. Her getting mad just shows her weakness, thought Sakura, have thoughts that would be similar to what Naruto would say, and headed home to rest for another day of training tomorrow. Uzu Namikaze Estate. Mito was sitting in her room, looking through a picture book of her family. Not one picture in here has Naruto in it. We really messed up with him, and I have to blame myself for not being a good sister, she thought to herself, a tear slipping through her eye. Then, somebody knocked on her door. Mito, are you in there? I need to talk to you, said Menma. Come on in, Menma, she said. When he walked in the door, she could hardly recognize who she was looking at. He looked terrible. His face looked pale, and his cheeks were stained with dried up tear marks. Menma, what happened? She asked as she ran over to comfort her older brother. Menma then explained what he heard at the hospital, how he was going to see Hinata, only to hear those words that he would never expect to hear from her mouth. Once he was done, Mito had a look of shock on her face. She really said that, she said with a whisper. Yeah, why does it hurt me so much? Those words hit me like a kunai to the chest, and it was only a few. He said in a depressed tone. Menma, you're going to listen to me, alright. It hurts me to see you like this, so listen to me. She said. Alright, was all Menma. I want you to not see her for the rest of the month, so you can get your mind right. Don't let this hold you back for the finals. You still must fight Neji, and he won't hesitate to attack with a fury. Mito stated. Are you sure? I mean, shouldn't we talk together instead of avoiding each other? Questioned Menma. In other situations, yes, but now it's the best time. She made the decision to not believe in you, and you have a fight to win. Seeing her only increases the chance of you hearing something you don't want to hear. Don't worry about her, she said. Alright, I trust you, he said as he stood up and started to walk to the door, but turned around to Mito. Don't tell anyone I was crying, he said with a smile. Sure, but I'll just hold it as blackmail until I need it, she said with a smile back. Menma left the room and Mito just looked at the door. Huh, relationships. I'll never understand them, she said as she went to sleep. A few days before the finals in the forest near Konoha, Naruto was making his way back to Konoha. He really didn't want to leave, but he had to do something before he left there. That and he had to kill his siblings during the finals, so that made up for it. I was around 5 p.m., and he was walking, seeing the walls of Konoha started to make him mad. This place again. I can't wait to destroy it, I want to do it now. Calm down, Naruto-kun. You don't have long here anyway. When we leave, we'll head straight to Wave, alright dear, said Kurama in a calming voice. Alright, but only cause you said so, he said, making Kurama smile. Then, Naruto heard something rattle in the bushes, making him turn around and wait for whatever to come out. These damn bushes. Jiraiya, when I get my hands on you. Freakin' pervert, said a small talking toad that came from the bushes. Naruto just eyed the toad, thinking of one thing. Dinner, thought Naruto, as he started to walk towards the frog. Then, the small red toad looked up to see Naruto. Hey you, kid, have you seen a white-haired old man, with the kanji for oil on his forehead protector? Oil, said Naruto, as he stopped walking to remember a time in his childhood. Flashback Naruto, 5 years old. Naruto sneaked in the Hokage Tower, wanting to see his father and ask if he could come home. He really missed sleeping in a bed and not an alleyway. He wanted to be feed again, and not hunt for food in the forest. As he approached the door leading to his father's office, he noticed that it was slightly ajar, so he peeked in to see what was going on. I'm telling you, Minato, the prophecy is about Menma and Mito. No doubt about it, said Jiraiya, the Toad Sage. Naruto saw the weird forehead protector with the kanji, oil, on it. Are you sure? Say the prophecy to me and Kushina again, said Minato, and Kushina nodded her head, wanting to hear it as well. Alright, the Toad Sage said that he had a dream of a being made by the Yellow Flash and a being coming from the Red Death would save the world from total destruction. The only two it could be is Mito and Menma. Naruto isn't it cause he shows no promise at all, but those two have already started training with you, so it must be those two. Yelled the Toad Sage. He sounds right, Minato-kun. It must be our two children to save the world, said a very happy Kushina. This is amazing. My children are destined to be heroes, yelled a happy Minato, with small tears of happiness in his eyes, and he hugged Kushina. Naruto just watched the scene in silence and anger. Why would he be excluded from the family? Even if he wasn't a part of the propchi, he should still be able to live with his family. Naruto just walked away from the family, going back to the streets where he lived at. Flashback end. Naruto looked back down at the small frog beneath him. I don't know where he is, but I do know how he looks, replied Naruto. Great, you can help me look then, said the frog as he jumped on top of Naruto's head, and pulled on his hair a little in a certain direction. Go that way, he said to Naruto. Naruto just blinked his eyes, and went that way. He wanted to see the Toad Sage anyway, wanting to get a feel for his power level. By the way, my name's Gamakichi. What's yours? He asked. Naruto. Oh, you're that kid with the soul of the Kyuubi in you, right? Asked Gamakichi. Yes. Why don't you fear me? Asked Naruto. Because I can tell between a kunai and its scroll. I know you're not the Kyuubi. The villagers must treat you bad, so you can be my new buddy, said Gamakichi, pulling on Naruto's hair in a different direction, making Naruto go that way. Buddy. Define buddy, said Naruto. Really? You don't know what buddy means? Ah, well, it means, friends. Yeah, friends. People that you hang with and catch flies with, or people who help spread oil on your back when a fellow frog is in need of moisture, or when ya need help cooking something, but don't know the recipe, your buddy comes through and helps ya cook it tota, said Gamakichi. I understand, said Naruto. The two continued to talk, and Naruto found the little frog very amusing. He had stories of him getting his brother out of traps, when he hopped away too far from home and got lost in the mountains, and that time when his father made him clean between the spaces of his toes. After a while, the two come to this cliff with the Toad Sage writing a book, and a sleeping Menma in a sleeping bag. Naruto just looked at Menma, and then went straight up to the Frog Sage. When the two got close to Jiraiya, Gamakichi jumped on his shoulder and started hitting his face. Jiraiya, why couldn't you have woke me up when we left the last training ground? I had to get my new buddy to help navigate through the forest, yelled Gamakichi in Jiraiya's ear. Alright, I hear you, yelled Jiraiya to the little toad. Good, if this happens again, I will have to tell my father about you, saying that you were bullying me, said the toad. Alright, little one, let's not go tell your father about things. Where's the person who brought you here? Asked Jiraiya, as he stood up and looked around. Down here, said a voice. Jiraiya looked down to see Naruto looking up at him, with a blank face. You're Naruto, said Jiraiya. Yes, I am, he said. I heard about you and your confession to kill Mito and Menma, said Jiraiya with a glare. Yes, they shall die if they face against me in the finals, stated Naruto. I won't let you do such thing. That's too bad, they shall suffer what they have coming for them. My revenge shall come to pass. There are other ways to do this.